Hi, I'm Erin Fitzpatrick, and today I will be walking you through data I've collected on Twitter regarding the hashtag #RefugeesWelcome. I gathered this data over the month of September, and then I used that data to create visualizations that tell the story of what I was seeing in my tweets. As I will demonstrate, I found that Refugees Welcome is mostly used as a source of news dissemination about political events occurring around the world. To begin, I wanted to outline why Refugees Welcome is such an important issue. According to the UN High Commissioner for Refugees, as of January 2019, there were 70.8 million refugees worldwide. This picture of refugees in an overcrowded camp clearly shows the growing problem. There are more and more refugees in the world and less places for them to go. To add to the problem, here is the UN's official definition of refugee. As we can see, the UN defines refugee as a person fleeing their country for reasons of race, religion, nationality, social group, or political opinion. This excludes climate refugees who are forced to leave their homes for a number of environmental reasons, and who might not relocate internationally. One source claims that there are more climate refugees in the world than officially documented refugees. This brings the number of people looking for a place to call home to at least 2% of the entire population. As political tensions and sea levels rise, this number will only grow. It's important that we start talking about it now. Returning to my Twitter data, here's a word cloud visualization of the content of tweets tagged with Refugees Welcome. As we can see, popular topics of discussion include Trump, America, administration, State Department, England, governors, and admissions. These topics are clearly political in nature, and many of them seem to be aimed at specific governments or government leaders. Note in green at the bottom left where it says SEC Pompeo. This will return in a later. The interconnected web is aimed more specifically at U.S. politics. The black string at the bottom connects Donald Trump to politicians who disapprove of his refugee policies. There's even a protest against him going on at the Capitol that users are trying to bring his attention to. The green web expands these tweets about the protest, also calling out SEC Pompeo, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, who we saw earlier. The pink string is a tweet coming from a U.S. politician that shares the story of a refugee who's making video games for peace. The brown string contains tweets in support of the GRACE Act, which was a bill introduced to increase the number of refugees allowed in America. Once again, all of these tweets revolve around specific political figures and moments. Here's a graph that shows tweets spiking on certain days where newsworthy events occurred. The first spike comes immediately after 9/11, turmoil in Turkey, and Hurricane Dorian all occur. The second spike comes amidst U.S. refugee policy debates. The large spike happens when Trump rolls out his new refugee policy, cutting back drastically on the number of refugees allowed into the U.S. The last spike occurs as the Pope speaks out in support of refugees on the Vatican's World Day for Migrants. Each of these news events sparked a great deal of discussion amongst Twitter users, and the daily number of tweets reflected these events almost exactly. Looking to the literature on the subject, here's a quote from Nathan Yau's data points. It demonstrates that without a knowledge of the subject, visualizations mean very little. On that note, in an academic article about my hashtag, the author's main argument is that the hashtag represents an example of a digital movement of opinion which is characterized by an emotional wave of support or opposition that happens very quickly and in very high profile on social media. Having done intense semester-long research on my topic, I can conclude that my research reflects similar findings about emotional and political waves of support for refugees as I have shown in my visualizations. By showing that the most popular topics of discussion revolve around politics, that connected themes involve politics and politicians, and that my tweets align perfectly with current events, I think it's safe to conclude that the Refugees Welcome hashtag functions as a form of news dissemination for political action. By starting a dialogue that distributes news, knowledge, and awareness about refugees, Refugees Welcome opens up the space for social and political change. Thank you for your time.